Hey there, and welcome back to today's episode. Now, if you're a parent, I know you'll relate to today's topic. Today, we're diving into the quiet and sometimes heavy weight of being the one that everybody relies on. The organizer, the emotional anchor, the one who has to remember everything, plans most things, and even has to anticipate everybody's needs and moods. Now, as a mum of four, I can tell you that it's all too easy to lose yourself in the needs of everyone else. It's not that you don't value yourself. It can just be that you care, and so you give too much at times to the detriment of yourself. But what happens often is that while we care for others, we begin to feel like we disappear in the process. And a lot of clients I work with come and sometimes they don't even know who they are anymore or what they do want. And the problem isn't caring too much. The problem is when we forget to care for ourselves in the process. So today I want to talk about how we can be amazing parents without losing ourselves in that process. So how do we show up for our kids while still staying true to who we are and what we want? And why, as parents, we need to start honoring our own needs and our own identity again. There's a quiet weight that comes with being the person that everyone relies on. So the one who remembers everything, the one who plans, organizes, and seems to hold it all together, right? Until we don't, and we snap, or we become exhausted, or we burn out. And we can have an amazing partner and still feel that way. But the truth is that you can't pour from an empty cup. And when you're constantly giving without recharging, you end up running on fumes. And as parents, we know this, but at the same time, we quite often feel like we can't take a break. And we think we need to be available all the time and doing everything for everyone. And we don't take that time for ourselves in the process. So I want to say this to you today. You are allowed to take time for yourself. Whether it's a moment of quiet, a bit of space, or just some time to zone out and breathe, it's okay to take a step back. And you don't have to be everything to everyone all the time. In fact, the more time that you can take for yourself, the better it will make you as a parent. And this is about balance. It's about boundaries and self-care, all of which are really, really important for your mental and emotional well-being. Now, let's talk about embracing the need for space. So this is where we need to start shifting our mindset. So it's not only okay to want to have time for yourself. I love time by myself. It's also necessary. And I know for myself that if I don't take that time, I show up very differently. So I've had to give myself permission to carve out space for quiet time. So moments when I can step away from the chaos, regroup, reconnect, and then go back in again. And whether that's in the morning before anyone else wakes up, whether it's during a walk outside, or even a quiet bath or a long shower at the end of the day, we need that time as parents. And what you'll begin to find is that when you give yourself that space, that zone out time, you actually begin to show up differently for everyone else. Because we know that energy affects time. And so the more time we give ourselves that feels good, the better our energy is. And you've probably heard the phrase that, as I mentioned before, you can't pour from an empty cup. And it's true. You can't be the best version of yourself for your kids or your partner or your work or anyone else if you're running on empty. That cup needs to be constantly replenished. And taking time for yourself gives you the energy and the patience to give more, but to give more from a place of choice, not a place of obligation, which is quite often what a lot of people feel. And it doesn't make you selfish when you do that. It makes you smart. And somebody once said to me, it's functional selfishness, which I completely agree. And it makes you perform at a higher level. And your family will benefit from it too, because the more that you do this, the more that your kids will learn to do this as they grow up and in their own relationships. When we talk about high performance in parenting, it's not just about doing more. It's about building that connection. So it's not about filling every minute with tasks or being busy for the sake of being busy. It's about staying connected to who you are while caring for others. And when you get clear about what you need, you'll set better boundaries and you'll recognize that your identity doesn't disappear just because you became a parent. So your needs, your passions, and your goals, they still matter. And making time for that is really important. So you don't have to give up everything that makes you you just because you're caring for others. In fact, it's the opposite. By honoring your own needs, you'll become more present and engaged as a parent. You'll have more patience, which we all need, more energy, and more love to give. But it starts with you. So I'd love you to take a moment today and reflect on this. Where do you need in your own life to honor yourself more, not less? Is it taking 10 minutes to breathe and reset? Is it saying no to things that are draining your energy? Is it going for a coffee by yourself? Is it carving out some space for your passions or hobbies? Whatever it is for you, I would love you to give yourself permission to honor that in a way that feels right. So you don't have to be a superhero. You're allowed to make mistakes. You're allowed to take time for yourself. And that's how you can show up as the best version, when you lean in to the uncomfortable and do things that will help you in the long run, even if in the short term they feel unfamiliar to yourself or to your family and to even everyone that relies on you. So if this episode resonated with you today, I'd love you to share this with somebody who you feel needs it. And don't forget to join my free community. And when we talk about high performance, it's not just about doing more. It's about doing what matters with intention and care. And it's that holistic approach to living where you feel like you can thrive both personally and professionally. And it's about honoring yourself while being there for the people that you loved. So thanks for tuning in. And remember, taking time for yourself is not selfish, it's essential. So take that time, honor your needs, and trust me, you'll see the difference. Until next time, live a successful, purposeful, and fully charged life every day. Your coach, Bel.